Next, we've got Vivek Mavani, independent market analyst and portfolio manager, joining us right here in our studios. Vivek, to start off with, a slew of reports coming in when it comes to the earnings season, and everyone's saying we need to brace ourselves for a pretty dismal quarter across the board. What's your view?
Well, in terms of what is going to be reported, I would agree that probably we are going to have a quarter with lowest growth and highest margin pressures and forex issues and so on and so forth. In the banking sector, the whole issue about bad assets and provisioning, so on and so forth. But my sense is, yes, what is going to be reported is definitely not going to be something very pleasing. But my sense is, and there's a sense I'm getting talking to corporates across the spectrum, that the bottoming out in terms of the fundamental performance, in terms of earnings, in terms of growth, in terms of margins, probably we are already at around the worst time. So from here, probably it can only get better. Markets tend to discount events well in advance by maybe few months to a couple of quarters. So probably in that sense, stock prices may not react, may not have too much of downside pressure on announcement of the results per se. Probably that's already built in or already factored in the stock prices. Is the outlooks which the managements would give out along with the announcement of the results, which probably needs to be, which would be fairly interesting and needs to be carefully looked at. There could be a lot of positive surprises coming our way in terms of the in that sense, which could be the trigger keeping the market buoyant over the next few weeks. And so that's overall sense. I mean, I also hear that maybe Infosys itself, I mean, for last 5 quarters it's been disappointing. Probably this quarter could be something which is going to please the markets or be a positive surprise. I mean, just to give an example.
Sure. So, I mean, you sound like a contrarian, but as optimistic as you sound, what's the level you possibly see the Nifty at by month end?
By month end, my sense is, I mean, the range of 54-5500. So, I mean, at least about another 100-150 points rally through the month is quite possible in that sense. The underlying trend is fairly strong, and so is the domestic money flow also. Last few weeks, I mean, we are seeing increased uptick there also. So that is overall going to keep the markets from overall collapsing. Worst case scenario, we'll probably be maybe in a 100-point range where we are. Better case scenario is maybe we are at least about 100-150 points higher on the Nifty by the end of the month.
Vivek, if we talk about the auto pack, there's been that increase in the excise duty uncertainty when it comes to fuel pricing, the rising interest rates. The forecast for the auto sector for FY13 has just been cut. What's your view? Are we going to see a recovery only in the second half?
Well, remains to be seen. I mean, when we talk of the auto overall, I mean, there are different segments within the auto, and each has got its dynamics which are fairly different from. The outlook on CVs is fairly different from what is it in the two-wheelers vis-a-vis what is it in the tractor. So then one has to see it segment-wise. This is not to say that there aren't opportunities from that point of view. Even in the auto, I mean, they've had a brunt of margin pressure thanks to high commodity prices, including the forex component where companies do import certain components, or in case of some of the multinational affiliates or into collaborators who have to pay royalty in forex. But even there, my sense is probably from here the downside isn't meaningful unless we are going to see a collapse of growth or collapse of volumes, which we are not yet seeing. I mean, volumes have slowed down in terms of growth, but we haven't seen an absolute fall in either sales or anything of the like. So on two-wheelers, I'll continue to be positive on, say, a Bajaj Auto, where at about 1500. I mean, there's a high degree of margin of safety with 3% dividend yield built into it. I mean, so the risk reward, for example, favors Bajaj Auto. Maybe if the monsoons are okay, the tractor side in Mahindra and Mahindra would probably do better. So, I mean, Mahindra is another place where I would be positive within the auto pack.
Right. So you've got Siam saying that, you know, the outlook for commercial vehicles is not very positive. So Ashok Leyland, how would you view Ashok Leyland?
Well, in that case, I would probably stay away. Not that I've got a very negative view, it's just that I've got a more positive view elsewhere. I'll stay away from those kind of things because it is directly related to macroeconomic factors, the investment on the capital goods side, investment on the infrastructure side, which is what would in the longer term drive these CV volumes. A lot of those triggers are lacking at the moment. I mean, the only trigger we have is municipalities are spending and procuring large number of new buses, and that's probably the only large positive trigger that one can think of, but probably it's not enough. So I'll stay away from Ashok Leyland for the moment, maybe focus on Mahindra and Bajaj Auto.
What's your one top stock idea?
Well, if I were to talk purely from a trading point of view in the near term, then maybe I'll stick my neck out on the IT services, maybe namely the Infosys and TCS. I mean, more so from Infosys. Last 5 quarters they've disappointed, and my sense is that maybe this could be the quarter when the expectations from the company are very low. That's number one. Most people would stay away from it. So for the management has got a very low hurdle rate in terms of to beat the market expectations, and just few words in terms of what is going to please the markets is probably enough to fuel a rally in Infosys. So I'll stick my neck out there, again being a contrarian, but again it's purely a trading call for the near term to play on the result event.